Hi there, my name is Peter Janis, and today I'm going to tell you guys about the brand new Radial Trim 2 DI box. The Trim 2 is a passive DI box designed for line level sources. That means devices like keyboards, CD players, computers, anything that's got some level to it, an active source. It's not designed for like an old Fender P bass or something that's a much lower level. So this is designed to be hit hard because of the intent of the application and what this volume control is all about. So let me get into that. So here we go. What we've got is a rec box that's got a couple, quarter-inch inputs. We've got RCA inputs. We've got 3.5 millimeter input. We've got a volume control. We've got a protective zone all the way around with what we call the bookend design. XLR outputs on the other end. You plug your keyboard into this, output from the XLRs to your mixing console or PA system, away you go. Now the really cool thing about this box is that if you're on stage and you're using a laptop or you're using something like that and you're using a controller keyboard, what you can do is instead of going over and mousing around with your computer or trying to figure out what to do if the volume's not right, you just reach over and adjust the volume. It sets the trim. In other words, instead of having a pad switch, we've got a level control or a trim. Super easy, super fast, great for shows. You've got a DJ, he's too loud, boom, turn it down. You don't have to be messing around with software. You don't have to be messing around with anything like that. It's really designed for quick, very efficient use. All right, so let's look inside and see what the magic is. So as you see, as I pull off the bookend cover, inside you got two big, fat Eclipse transformers. These are really cool because transformers, rule of thumb, the bigger the transformer, the lower the frequencies it will handle. The larger the transformer, the more gain it will handle. So that's what you want to look at. When you want to look at a DI box, you want to look at the size of the transformer and, of course, intended application. In this case, we're dealing with signal levels that are, we'll call it minus 20, minus 10 dB, up to plus 15 dB. So quite a wide range of signal levels. So you're easily you can easily use this, as I say, for combining two mixers or things like that. Not quite as much signal handling as the Radial Twin ISO that'll be able to handle signals up to 25 dB, so plus 25. Super hot, but very respectable nonetheless. Now, let's kind of talk about transformers and how they work, just so you know what we're talking about. A transformer is basically made up of a primary and a secondary. In other words, signal that comes in to the primary actually turns into a magnetic field, and that magnetic field through the coil generates sound on another magnetic field. So it's a magnetic bridge. That magnetic bridge blocks DC or blocks noise. So if you've got hash and noise on your power line, it gets rid of all that stuff, and that's in the audio system, okay? So that's particularly important if you think in terms of ground loops, and anybody that's played live knows what that's like. You plug stuff in, all of a sudden, you get noise, buzz, and hum. Well, the Trim 2 basically solves the problem. Let me explain how. You have a ground loop. Let me grab a different color so we can kind of keep everything kind of clean here. You have essentially a power here going way over to the PA system here, and they'll share the same electrical system, but on different parts of the power grid. That can create problems. So we have an electrical ground, and then we have an audio ground. By lifting the audio ground and passing the signal through a transformer, we get rid of buzz and hum problems. So it makes it super clean, super easy to use. Particularly effective when using computers, because laptops are really not designed for audio. You plug those things in, they buzz and hum all the time, so it's really helpful. So overall, how would you hook it up? You'd have a controller keyboard, or let's say some kind of electronic controller of sorts. You'd have your laptop. Your laptop would plug to the Twin 2. You could use the quarter-inch, the RCA, or the 3.5 millimeter connector as an input or as a throughput, which could feed a monitor system. Your XLR, you balance out, would run 100 meters or 300 feet to the mixing console, PA system, as you need. Real simple. Just great little box, adjust the volume, away you go. So let's just review. It's a passive box, it's stereo, has a volume control, transformer isolation to get rid of buzz and hum, quarter-inch RCA and 3.5 millimeter connectors, a mono sum switch, which I didn't mention, Sometimes you are, let's say, in an AV installation and you just want one audio signal, but someone shows up with a stereo source. You hit the little mono switch. That's actually a little hidden switch on the side here. And you just use a little screwdriver and push it in. And that takes the two inputs and brings it out mono on the other side. That way you've got two sets of mono going to each one of the different PA systems or whatever you might need. So it's basically a channel saver. And if you don't need stereo for some kind of musical background situation, why waste channels? That's what it's all about. So you have a mono switch, ground lift switch we talked about, and boy, that's about it. It's real simple. There you go, the Radial twin let me get that right, the Radial Trim 2.